Welcome back. So we are in question 3 of this worksheet. We already did the pencil and eraser question. That was question number 1. We just finished the taco and milk question. That was question number 2. And we are now on question number 3. This question is on apples and pears. Cool, let's get started. If you haven't watched the video on how to set these up, you can go back. I have a whole video on just setups. So we have 4 pears. So they didn't give us letters this time, so I'm gonna go with P as a pear, and I'm gonna go with A as an apple. So we have 4 pears. We can see that, right? Yep. Plus 5 apples is $3.56. Now we have 3 pears plus 4 apples is $2.76. Find the cost of a pear and an apple. So we have 2 unknowns. We don't know the cost of a single apple, and we don't know the cost of a single pear, but we have a strategy to do it. So we have 2 unknowns, and we're gonna find those 2 unknowns. So we have our beautiful setup. Everything's lined up beautifully. So I know that this is one that's for the elimination technique. Now, if you're a kiddo that your writing's not as legible as it could be, I would highly recommend that you use graph paper, that quad paper, and then keep your numbers and letters in their own little box so you can keep it nice and organized. If you don't have organized work, this is going to be a kind of a tough question. Organization is key, okay? And I have quad paper. It's over on the shelf, that direction over there. So knock your socks off, help yourself. So we have this beautiful setup called a system. It's 2 equations with 2 unknowns. Nothing cancels, because if I add going down, the pears are 7 pears. And if I add going down, we have 9 apples. We need something to cancel so we can solve for one of the items first. Shenanigans. How do we make that canceling happen, that elimination? Well, we either grab these 2 numbers or these 2 numbers, whichever ones you think are smaller, doesn't really matter. You can go 4 and 5 and make one negative, or you can go 4 and 3 and make one negative. But the key is grab it, flip it, change one of the signs, okay? So if you wanna do 5 and 4, do it. If you wanna do 4 and 3, do it. It really doesn't matter which one you go for. I'm going with the 4 and 3, they're just smaller. So I'm gonna grab it, I'm gonna flip it, and I'm going to change the sign. Grab it, flip it, change the sign. Grab it, flip it, change the sign. Now notice, I put the negative on the smaller of the 2 numbers. You can do it wherever you'd like. So I grab 4 and 3, I flip them, and I made the smaller of the 2 numbers negative. Again, from experience, because I've been doing this a long time. If you pick the smaller of the 2 numbers to make negative, it does help out quite a bit, okay? Cool beans, let's get started. You might wanna have a calculator with this one. The numbers might seem a bit weird. So we're gonna distribute through, bloop, 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 all the way through. Don't be stingy, all the way through. So we have negative 12p, negative 15a, 4 times 3 is 12, but it's negative. 3 times 5 is 15, but it's negative. Not a clue, but I do know it's gonna be negative. So 3 times $3.56 is going to be $10.68. Cool. Now we're going to distribute the 4. That's 12p. Ooh, look at what we created, something that cancels. We did it, my friends. 16a, and then 4 times $2.76, which is $11.04. Can you see what cancels? Do you? Point at it. Let me see. Did you point at that? No, they don't cancel. Remember, canceling is same letter, same number, but they're opposites. One's a plus and one's a minus. Would these cancel? They do have the same letter. That's good. They are opposites because one's plus and a minus, but they are not the same number. So they wouldn't be cancelable. Here it is. Let's cancel it right away. Boom. Let's add going down. If you had 16 apples and you ate 15 of them, that's kind of crazy. So that's all I know. That's a lot of apples. But if you had 16 apples and you ate 15, you would have 1 single apple left over. And $11.04 take away $10.68 is 36 cents. Now some kids just want to continue. They can't help themselves, but 36 cents was the answer. What you might want to do is go over there and write that answer down in that area over there. So you can write down the answer to the apple. So make sure you write the answer down in the correct area. So I'm going to do that right now. Apple is 36 cents. Who we're still missing? Remember, we had two unknowns. We didn't know the cost of an apple, and we surely did not know the cost of a pear. Correct. So we're going to go back and find the cost of a pear. How do we do that? We go back to one of the originals. Doesn't matter which one you pick. One of the ones, and I do it in different colors. I do the originals in black, and I do the work in a different color. I don't know, that just helps me. So I'm gonna pick, I don't know, it really doesn't matter. I'm gonna pick the top one for no reason at all. So I'm gonna pick the top one, I'm gonna write it down. I'm not gonna do anything to it yet. I literally wrote it down exactly as it was originally. But I now know a secret. I now know the cost of an apple. Remember, this is 4 times P plus 5 times something equals $3.56. 5 times something. Well, we know that something is 36 cents, that apple. So we have 4P plus $5 times 36. That's $1.80 minus $1.80 from both sides. And 4P will equal $1.76. The opposite of multiply is to divide. Whatever we do to one side, we surely do it to the other. And a single pear will be 44 cents. That's not too bad. 44-cent pear. So we now have solved for our two unknowns. We have the answer area, and I put my answers over there. So pears are 44 cents and the apples are 36 cents. Good job. Now that's the end of this side of the page. If you flip this over, we have 3 on the back. We have the question about hamburgers and Coca-Colas, soda pops. We have candy bars and suckers, and we have highlighters and 4 pens. At least this year, those 3 questions, every year it changes, those questions will be your homework. So go ahead and give those 3 a try, and I will create another video for those 3, okay? Good luck. You got this. You can do difficult things. I know you can. Bye.